Imagine you're reading a book to your grandchild. Your voice is steady, and the little one is listening intently. Then suddenly, you can't speak. Your right arm feels heavy. Your vision blurs. And then, you can't call anyone for help. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But this happens more often than you think, and it's not because you ate too much salt or smoked. It's due to a series of seemingly harmless morning habits. As a neurologist who has treated thousands of elderly patients, I've witnessed such cases happening repeatedly. The patients weren't neglectful. They walked every morning, took their medicine on time, and checked their blood pressure regularly. Yet, they still had strokes. They still lost the ability to speak, move, and sometimes even their memory just after one morning. And the unfortunate truth is, the cause doesn't lie in what they ate, but in what they drank first thing after waking up. A fragrant cup of coffee, a cold glass of orange juice, a can of sugar-free soda, or even nothing at all. All of these seem harmless, but they could be creating a silent storm in your brain each morning. As blood vessels constrict, blood pressure fluctuates, and the blood becomes thicker after a night of dehydration. You might have heard that coffee is good for the heart, orange juice adds vitamin C, or sugar-free soda is a smart choice. But after the age of 60, your body doesn't respond the same way anymore. Brain blood vessels become fragile. Blood pressure can spike without warning. And even a small, familiar habit can become a ticking time bomb. In this video, I will share 5 common mistakes about morning drinks that many seniors make mistakes that don't cause pain, don't cause worry, until it's too late. More importantly, I'll show you how to reverse that risk with a simple change, but one that can protect your memory, heart rate, and even your independent living for many years to come. If you've ever thought, "What's the big deal about what I drink in the morning?" I invite you to stay, because what you're drinking every day might be exactly what your brain fears the most. I once treated Mr. Paul, 67 years old, a kind and careful man, neat and always punctual. Every morning, he had an indispensable routine: iced coffee. Not much, just a medium cup, a little vanilla syrup, and some cream. He often told me, "Doctor, I don't smoke, I don't drink. A small cup of coffee to wake me up isn't a problem." And he wasn't the only one who thought like that. Coffee, especially iced coffee with flavor, has become part of the morning ritual for many. The sound of ice clinking against the glass, the swirl of cream mixing into the dark coffee. It's a comforting, familiar feeling, and sometimes the only thing that makes the new day feel worth starting. But what no one tells you is, if you drink it on an empty stomach after a long night of dehydration, that cup of coffee doesn't just wake you up, it also sends your brain's blood vessels into a state of panic. The moment the first sip goes down your throat, the sugar from the syrup and cream enters your bloodstream, causing a spike in blood sugar. At the same time, caffeine constricts blood vessels, and your heart has to race to pump blood through the now narrowed vessels. If you pay attention, there are mornings when you feel a mild headache, your heart beating faster than usual, but you chalk it up to lack of sleep or the weather. In reality, your brain is under tremendous internal pressure. Another little-known fact: many types of creamers, including plant-based milk or non-dairy, still contain hidden salt, a type of salt that causes blood pressure to gradually rise without you even noticing. And if you drink iced coffee with whipped cream, caramel syrup from a store, then the combination of sugar, caffeine, and salt is the classic recipe for a stroke in the near future. I'm not saying you should completely give up coffee. I drink it too. But after the age of 60, how you drink it is what determines whether your brain gets protected or not. Avoid drinking coffee on an empty stomach. Reduce the sugar, skip the sweet creamers, and opt for black coffee or unsweetened plant milk. And especially, drink a glass of water beforehand to ensure your brain has enough hydration and oxygen before it gets hit with the boost from caffeine. Because sometimes just one sweet iced coffee at the wrong time could take away your ability to speak, walk, or even remember the people you love. I know many seniors who start their day with a glass of orange juice, especially those who have had a healthy lifestyle habit since they were young. They believe that a little vitamin C in the morning will give them energy, protect their heart, and keep them feeling fresh. And honestly, I don't blame them. For many years, juice boxes with the label 100% pure have been advertised as a symbol of health. Wake up, drink a glass of juice. Have breakfast, another glass of juice. Feel tired, one more glass of juice. It all sounds very reasonable. But if you're over 60, and especially if you're drinking bottled, canned, or glass-bottled juice from the supermarket, then I want you to pause for a moment and take a closer look. Because the danger isn't in the word juice, but in how your body absorbs it. When you eat a fresh orange, the fiber in the orange segments helps to retain the sugar, allowing your body to absorb it slowly and steadily. But when you drink pre-packaged juice, that fiber is completely gone. What's left is a flow of liquid sugar that enters your bloodstream within minutes of waking up. And this causes a sudden spike in blood sugar, while the blood vessels in your brain are still fragile and sensitive after a long night. Not to mention, many pure juices still contain added sugar, flavor enhancers, or preservatives to boost taste and shelf life. A 250 ml bottle of juice can contain more sugar than a can of Coca-Cola. But because it's labeled natural, we don't question it. What's the consequence? Every morning, you're unintentionally creating a metabolic shock for your body. Sugar rises, insulin spikes, blood vessels inflame silently. Blood pressure fluctuates and your brain has to work in an unstable environment right from the start of the day. This creates the perfect conditions for plaque formation, blood clots, and unexpected strokes, which I have seen far too many times in the emergency room. If you truly love fruit, eat the whole fruit, an apple, an orange, or make a smoothie with the whole fiber. That's the correct and healthy way to nourish your body. And if you want something to drink in the morning, let water lead the way first. Don't let sugar lead you to the hospital. I remember Mrs. Linda, a 72-year-old patient of mine, who was very proud of having given up sugary sodas for many years. Instead, every morning she would open the fridge, grab a can of soda labeled 0 sugar with confidence, sip it, and tell me, "Doctor, see, I made a smarter choice." What she didn't know was that every can of that soda was silently changing the way her brain and heart communicated with each other. I understand why diet sodas have become popular with seniors. The packaging proudly claims sugar-free, calorie-free safe for diabetics won't affect your heart health. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, like you've just avoided a major mistake. But the unfortunate truth is, the price you pay comes from the very thing used to replace sugar. In most common sugar-free sodas today, from lemon-flavored soda, diet cola, to diet carbonated drinks, there are artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or acesulfame K. It sounds scientific, but inside your body, these substances disrupt the way insulin works, fool the brain, and trigger a mild, prolonged inflammatory response in the blood vessels. They don't raise blood sugar like real sugar, but they create a false sugar effect, causing the body to release insulin, throwing your metabolism out of balance. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, which increases the risk of stroke, arrhythmias, and blood pressure issues. That's not all. Many diet sodas also contain hidden caffeine and sodium. These two substances increase urine output, causing mild dehydration in the morning, a very dangerous situation for older adults. Because just a slight dehydration thickens the blood, slows circulation, and deprives the brain of oxygen. That's when a blood clot can form. And perhaps the scariest part is, you don't feel the danger. Diet soda doesn't fill you up. It doesn't cause bloating, and it doesn't make you shaky. You drink it and go on with your day, thinking you've made a smart choice. But if you drink it every morning, before breakfast, before rehydrating, please understand this. You're not avoiding a risk. You're just taking a detour, leading to the same outcome. If you truly want to protect your brain, heart, and memory after 60 set, that can of soda aside. Instead, start with a glass of warm water, and if you want a little flavor, add a few slices of lemon or cucumber. Your body will silently but profoundly thank you for it. I once asked one of my patients, Uncle Marvin, who is 70 years old, "Do you drink anything in the morning?" He smiled, holding up a small can of energy drink. "This helps me stay awake. Being old, you need something to switch things on, right, doctor?" I get it, and I believe you understand, too. Once you reach 60, your morning energy isn't as high as it was when you were younger. Some mornings, even after a full night's sleep, you still feel tired. A little exercise leaves you breathless, and your memory isn't as sharp as before. So, a can of energy drink or a cold bottle of sports drink seems like a quick way to rev up. But that's the sweetest trap for older adults. These drinks, by nature, are not designed for aging bodies. They were created to serve young, active individuals, those with strong hearts, flexible blood vessels, fast-working livers and kidneys, and good insulin responses. What about seniors? Just one can of energy drink with caffeine levels 2 to 3 times that of coffee, plus sugar, taurine, and stimulating substances like guarana or ginseng can be enough to push your heart into a full-throttle mode. Your heart races, your blood vessels constrict, your blood pressure shoots up. The feeling you get in the first few minutes is actually just forced acceleration. And what happens after that? Fatigue, nervousness, difficulty sleeping, even dizziness from a sudden drop in blood pressure. What about sports drinks? They seem gentler, less sugar, with added electrolytes. Sounds reasonable. But in reality, many still contain high amounts of salt, artificial coloring, and preservatives. Drinking them when your body isn't truly dehydrated, or drinking them at the wrong time, can disrupt your electrolyte balance, tire your heart out, and overwork your kidneys. The danger here isn't the immediate effect. It's when you repeat it every morning for weeks, months, and one day, your blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, and your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. A slight headache, a moment of shortness of breath, a morning of confusion. Then comes a stroke without warning. If you really want energy in the morning, no need for energy drinks, and no need for electrolytes from pre-packaged powders. Start your day with a glass of warm water, a few slices of lemon, and a pinch of sea salt. That simple drink, no frills, no fizz, no sweetness, is the perfect drink for a body that needs to be cherished, not rushed. Because sometimes, if you want to go far, you don't need to speed up, you just need to avoid burning out the engine. Among all the morning habits I've asked my patients about, there's one response that sends a shiver down my spine every time I hear it, because it's so common. "No, doctor, I brush my teeth and then have coffee. I'll drink water later when I have breakfast." At first glance, there seems to be nothing wrong with that. But for someone over 60, it could be the most dangerous mistake of the day. Did you know that after 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body loses a significant amount of water just from breathing and regulating temperature? You don't sweat, you don't exercise, but your breath, heart rate, and metabolic processes continue throughout the night. And in the morning, when you open your eyes, your body is in a mildly dehydrated state, but your brain needs optimal oxygen and circulation to kickstart the day. If you don't drink water at that time, or worse, if you drink something that causes further dehydration, like coffee, carbonated drinks, or nothing at all, your body starts the day with a significant disadvantage. Thicker blood, slower circulation, the heart has to work harder to push blood, and worst of all, the brain starts to lack oxygen right before you even get out of bed. Many mild strokes, those sudden forgetfulness, slurred speech, or brief loss of balance episodes, happen within the first 2 hours after waking up. Not because you ate too much salt, not because you're stressed, but simply because you forgot one simple thing: to drink water. And here's something few people tell you: thirst in older adults diminishes over time. This means that when you feel dry in your mouth, your body has already been dehydrated for several hours. And when the brain is deprived of oxygen, blood vessels are thinner and blood becomes thicker. It only takes a small blood clot, an irregular heartbeat, to create irreversible consequences. It's ironic, right? The most dangerous thing is often something you forget to do. So, if there's one thing you remember from this entire video, let it be this. Drink a glass of water in the morning. It doesn't need to be fancy. No need to add honey, chia seeds, ginger, or any superfoods. Just plain warm water. No ice, no sweetness. Because sometimes what saves your brain isn't medicine. It's a glass of water at the right moment. A different life. If you've listened this far, I believe you're not just watching a health video. You're doing something much more important. You're looking back at your own habits with the eyes of someone who understands that after 60, the body is no longer the same as before. Perhaps you once believed that. A glass of orange juice every morning is good. A can of diet soda is harmless. A little sweet coffee is fine. Or, drinking nothing at all isn't a big deal. I don't blame you, because no one ever taught us that old age is a journey that requires change. It's not that we're weaker, but we need to be more attuned to our own bodies. After 60, brain blood vessels become thinner. Blood pressure fluctuates more erratically. And the scariest part, the body no longer gives you early warning signs when something goes wrong. A little sugar, it's no longer a small issue. A moment of dehydration, it's no longer just thirst. A sweet cup of coffee, it's no longer just a morning pleasure. Each small choice adds up like drops of water hitting the glass. One day, it will crack, but the wonderful thing is, you can start anew with small changes, like how you drink water every morning. Tomorrow, before reaching for that glass of juice, coffee, or sugar-free soda, stop for a moment and ask yourself, is this helping me stay awake, or is it putting additional pressure on my brain? Then, choose water. No color, no sugar, no smell, but carrying a powerful message. I'm taking care of myself. I'm keeping my mind sharp. I'm doing something simple but not insignificant. Because preventing a stroke doesn't come from expensive medication, it comes from being mindful of the little things. If you found this content useful, share it with your loved ones, friends, those who also start their day with seemingly harmless drinks. And if you've made any changes after watching this video, leave a comment to share your thoughts. It might seem small, but just like that glass of water this morning, it's enough to create a lasting change. Wishing you a gentle morning and a sharp mind for years to come.